6 weeks ago, I set out to discover whether 14 ordinary British men and 14 ordinary British women could do something extraordinary. Survive on 2 remote Pacific islands. Filled with dangerous wildlife.
That is a big fucker.
It came right at me!
At the height of the tropical storm season.
How on earth are we expected to survive in this?
What I want to find out is, has all of this cushioning that civilization has experienced over the last 50 years made us totally lose touch with that survival instinct that I believe is deep within us all?
In this groundbreaking experiment, the castaways faced surviving entirely alone for 6 weeks.
Holy shit!
Tonight, I discover how both the islands fared.
Pretty on Mother Nature, I say.
I'll reveal and explain the techniques the men and women used to survive. Find out how island life affected them.
I am not the same person who went to the island.
It's the best thing I've ever done.
And what it was like when they returned to civilization.
What this kit? Got the shower and everything? No way.
It's absolutely brilliant, babe. Oh, God, your voice is beautiful.
After 41 days, I returned to the islands to find out how the castaways have stayed alive using only their wits and some basic survival skills.
Is it him?
Such a big part of me is so relieved we've reached this point where we're extracting them. This is the most in-depth experiment I've ever done. 6 weeks, height of the rainy season, brutal.
Welcome!
Wow, look at you guys. Well done, you. Well done, you. Amazing, genuinely. I think what's interesting about doing 2 separate islands, one for the men, one for the women, is seeing how 2 very different groups of people cope in the same hardships. Look at you guys, I thought I smelled bad. I mean, that is the smell of honest hard work, isn't
Success! It's the smell of success.
Thanks for coming back.
it? Let's have a look at the camp.
We would like to introduce you to the Croc and Trotter, which is the name of our camp.
Guys, this looks incredible.
It's all right, isn't it?
You know, this is like out of a movie set, Robinson Crusoe.
Yeah. So with this sign here, I think this is like a symbol of how far we've come. So it's no longer a camp, but it's now our home.
Sounds a bit like a pub.
Yeah.
I discovered they'd constructed a fire pit and seating area, a communal table, and individual raised beds. They'd even built themselves a staircase.
Because of the torrential rain, that hill was treacherous. So one of the first things we did is, while everyone else basically built the shelter, I built the steps.
You know, little things like that when you're trying to conserve energy.
As a team, we definitely thrived, no doubt about it. I mean, you only have to go look around the camp to realise that it was a pretty serious setup.
Respect. You know, I know what you guys have been through. It's brutal. Good effort, you know.
On the women's island, they took a different approach.
Would you like a tour?
I can't wait to see it.
This is our pathway, made by coconuts that we ate.
You've eaten a lot of coconuts.
Far too much coconuts.
The women had made a huge effort to make their camp feel homely and cheerful.
Wow, guys, look at this. This is cool.
It's very cool. Who's that?
And it's so clean.
Yeah.
You know, it is not easy to get an island like this clean. This is amazing. This is way better than I expected. And I look at how the men did stuff, and it was functional, technical. It didn't have this kind of warmth. Little touches of decoration, you know? To me, it has much more of a heart to it.
This is home.
The first rule of survival is to find a safe place to build shelter.
Just see the rocks in the distance just there, that's home. That's where we're going.
The men chose an excellent spot.
Booyah! Beach!
It was close to the sea, which is a great source of food, but set back enough from the beach to give them natural protection from the elements.
Because it's elevated, this is not really going to get that wet.
Right, what do you want me to do, Paul?
What we need now, cross members.
Having chosen their location, the men set about building shelter to protect themselves and their fire from the frequent tropical storms.
It's got a fairly good canopy. It's got 4 corners that we can notch off, put rope into, cover over the top.
From my experience in the wild, constructing a good shelter is crucial, not only to get yourself out of that weather, but also just for morale. You know, if you're just getting pissed off all day, all night, to have somewhere to hide away, get out of it, means so much.
So, these are the dormitories.
The men went on to build individual covered beds that were raised off the floor to protect them from the jungle critters.
A group of guys decided that they were going to start throwing up a bed for everybody, and then you would personalise your own bed by putting a roof on your pitch, depth of bed, length of bed, that sort of thing.
The beds were built using A-frames and lengths of washed-up rope for their mattresses.
OK, whose is the best, you reckon?
Mine. And that's this one.
A man's bed is his castle.
I got stuck into my bed, making it as comfortable as I possibly could, because once I'd got in that bed, I wanted that to be my personal place for me to go, close my eyes and be at home. So I realised once they decided to make individual beds, pick a decent one, make it a palace.
You happy for me to have a go?
By all means, sir.
Are you going to be sad to leave this, Vic?
Yes, I am, yeah. That was my one luxury on this island, and that good night's sleep every night. Oh, God, yes. If the bed is a-rocking, don't come and rocking.
Oh, Jesus. Really dense up here, so we need to get moving.
On the women's island, establishing a base camp took longer.
This is the direction where we should be heading in.
The group split, and after getting lost in the jungle,
I think it's that way.
it took them 9 days to establish a permanent home with a sustainable water source. For the women, it wasn't until their final week on the island that they came up with the idea for a communal bed where they could keep each other warm.
And then just tie that up there. Perfect. We felt that it was a really important way of utilising our greatest resource, which are plastic bottles. And you could probably get 6 or 7 of us on it. And it's fully lined.
Have a go.
Go on, please go and lie on it.
I mean, it's not quiet.
No, it's not
but
quiet.
But it's comfy. I mean, this is 1,000 times comfier than the male one.
Yes!
The only thing is, you get up in the middle of the night, go for a pee, everybody knows you're getting up. What have you been sleeping on before this?
Beach.
The beach.
Which is brutal.
But it's not bad if you're spooning, Bear.
No. We love a spoon.
I think there's several really good reasons for sleeping as a group. There was a sense of safety. If there were anything nasty was to come into camp, the group was there to deal with it.
You've got to choose your spot now, Georgie.
Decisions.
I think we were really happy with spooning in a really sad way. It was quite a big comfort for a lot of us, and definitely a way to keep warm.
Nice night.
You know, maybe this is a difference between men and women. The men wanted their space. They wanted these individual shelters where they can hide away and they go, oh, I'm annoyed with him, and whoosh, I close my curtains and I'm done. But actually, community is strength.
I very much anticipated that the women would be very much the homemakers. It would be right top of their list to build shelter. I think it was interesting just how long it took.
It looks pretty good. Oh, for fuck's sake.
They just didn't have the skills. They had to learn these skills by getting things wrong, and they got there in the end. But one thing the women were better at was making fire. They did it much quicker than the men.
So this is Vesta, who's slowly... She was absolutely flaming, but she's decided to go a bit down.
Why Vesta?
Because Vesta is the Roman goddess of the hearth.
For us, she's been the heart of the camp. and the main thing that we've kept going.
The women used a traditional friction-based method, spinning a bow drill to create heat by friction.
Bloody good ember.
Then blowing on the ember to breathe life into the flame.
Here we go! Oh my God! Wow! It got fire! It got fire!
Well, we tried all sorts. The bow and the shaft thing, on the holding it and rubbing it up and down like folds and sweating onto it and spoiling it. We got no smoke or anything.
To me. Awesome.
That learning curve just went like a U-bend, boom.
He's gone out, hasn't he?
Fuck all.
Just basically using the sun to focus on one point is giving us quite a lot of heat.
It was Kyle that sat most of the second day having a go at it. I mean, that man's determination was unbelievable. Sat for hours, holding his glasses.
Come on.
Get the sticks ready, lads.
Be on there.
No.
Get up there, get up there. You got it, you got it, you got it!
He was the unsung hero, really was. And my God, we thanked him for it.
Fucking yes!
You've nailed it.
Chuffed, but
you're the hero.
Good.
But the fire didn't help them deal with the sandflies, which attack at sunrise and sunset, and they feed on the protein in human blood.
Oh, it's swollen.
They were unmerciful. They really were unmerciful.
Scabbed.
Oh! They got covered head to foot in sandfly bites, and that can have a real demoralising effect. When you're scratching, then things get septic, you know, you got salt wounds, a big no-no.
Getting bit constantly.
Yeah, constantly being bitten. It's just, I can just see them all flying around. It's horrible.
Oh, it makes me itch thinking about the insects. They were everywhere, in people's knickers. There was nowhere you could sit down at all, unless you're in the water, where some sort of insect or some sort of bug is not going to absolutely tear your skin apart.
I feel like I'm turning into the fucking elephant man.
If anybody films me, I'll kick off.
You fucking bitch!
Good job I'm not going on a date anytime soon.
And neither did the men escape unscathed.
Oh, God! Sandflies, seriously? Yeah? I'll burn or cut this island down if that was what it means to get rid of them.
But the islanders came up with some ingenious techniques to ward off the island critters.
You seal your hood round and put your boxer shorts that you've been wearing for 4 weeks over your face. You just sleep in that rigid position for, you know, 6 hours.
Just put that over like that. Want to bring your hood up. It's the most uncomfortable thing I've ever been through in my life.
You mean you don't love the great outdoors, Jules?
Not when I can't see it, because I've got to sleep with a fucking T-shirt over my face. I may as well be at fucking home with the lights out.
And the women used some extra resources not available to the men.
The sanitary bag got misused, and we found if you stuck sanitary towels all over your face.
That's not misuse.
It kept them away.
That's exactly the right use.
I cleanse my face with sanitary towels now, and now I've run out of cotton pads. You can't complain. You're like, oh, sanitary towel, that'll work.
After 6 weeks utterly alone, I've returned to see how the men and women adapted to surviving on their islands. When it comes to survival, I often talk about the rule of 3, which means you can survive 3 minutes without air, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food. During tropical storm season, rainwater is plentiful.
As it rained, it used to come off the trees, so we used to collect it that way.
It's running like a bloody tap.
We nicknamed it the jungle tap.
But once it hits the ground, water is contaminated. You've got to purify water properly. If you don't, you're going to get sick. And groundwater can contain a whole host of nasties.
Oh, my God.
That is horrible.
If you think about it, it's where the animals, they come to drink, but also it's where they come to crap.
So we'll fill the reservoir to the max and we'll let gravity do the rest.
With each man needing to drink between 2 and 4 litres a day, they invented a filtering system to purify the water before boiling.
still doesn't look as clear as I was hoping it would.
No.
Where he poured it through several bottles with sand, with a bit of a ripped-up T-shirt in the bottom to try and filter out all the crap.
It doesn't taste like piss, does it?
It's like motorway tea.
Have you learned to hate drinking warm water?
No, I don't mind it. And actually, it's good. It's really good. And
The sauce is just
you don't have to kind of just knock it back. It's decent water.
The water was not an issue.
Yeah.
And actually, dehydration was your own fault rather than lack of water.
Yeah.
On the women's island, their water source was far more polluted than the men's.
That is fucking disgusting.
It is. It really is.
Fuck.
Definitely double filtering this.
Fucking hell.
Their system was simple but effective, using one jerry can to filter while the other was constantly on the boil.
I think it was Jamie's sock, a little bit of charcoal, my bra, and literally just dripped it through very, very slowly. And within a day, you've got 30 litres of the stuff.
I don't want to drink the water. It tastes of poo. You drink it, then you go, then you vomit.
With water sorted, they now needed to feed themselves. I ensured they had enough indigenous animals, vegetation and water to keep them alive. What they had to do was have the ingenuity to find it, catch it and kill it.
Yeah, good. Well, good.
Before entering this extreme environment, they were given basic survival training in what they could hunt and trap.
These were just regular, ordinary, everyday people in regular jobs. Diverse jobs, but everyday jobs. This is a boa constrictor. This guy is edible. They do get huge. They've been known to take small children. You can't afford to be squeamish. Killing your food is a survival reality. If it's food, it's fuel.
A testament to British engineering, this will be.
In my experience, one of the most energy-efficient ways of hunting is trapping.
If it works.
From the intricate Cayman box trap, which when set off forms an inescapable prison, to the simple spring-loaded trap, which uses a trigger system to ensnare the animal.
Comes down to feed or water, put a little bit of bait out.
Bingo. I had this TV view of trapping. You make one trap, you catch one animal. No, 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 no.
Okay, ready?
You have to put out a lot of traps, you have to keep going back to them, and eventually, if you're lucky and you've done it right, you'll catch something.
Right, I'll distract him. Hey, Mr. Croc.
But once you've trapped an animal, you need to kill it.
We need to get a loop over that mouth.
Ooh, look at that beauty.
With the crocodile, the men used a noose to control the jaws, so it could be manoeuvred into position.
Watch him, watch him. Go now, go now.
Then they used their body weight to pin it down.
Yes, mate, yes.
That's it.
And dispatch as quickly and humanely as possible.
The technique that they used to catch that crocodile was actually textbook. It was pretty impressive because there's no doubt, you know, you're faced with the #1 predator on the island. It's intimidating.
Like, I felt very, very strongly like if we're going to kill stuff, we should kill it humanely and we should not waste any scrap of it.
Go on, look at that!
Get in!
Unbelievable! Let the feast begin, boys!
Yes!
These are some of the trophies we kept. We absolutely ate everything.
7 feet of beautiful crocodile. That's all that remains, pretty much, apart from the sign.
Thing is, if you hesitate, you lose. Set your traps, set multiples of them. You've got to be opportunistic. That's great, you're right. Dodge.
Whilst the men accepted that killing was necessary to eat,
Okay, sage and onion.
One of the things I think the women struggled with was putting aside their instinct to nurture and turning it to an instinct to hunt and to kill.
Hunting and killing has been the biggest eye-opener that I've taken from the island.
taking a life is never easy. And for the women, it was a real turning point. they overcame one of the hardest psychological obstacles, showing they had what it takes to be survivors.
You can spend a week trying to trap an animal, and then the actual killing process is pretty gruesome. It's actually a really emotional thing.
Using a knife, the most humane way to dispatch a pig is by severing its jugular veins, which renders the animal unconscious.
It was so hard. Just it was horrible. Horrible.
It took them a long time to embrace the hard realities of this isn't going to be pretty. But from that point on, the women, just like the men, were able to take their rightful place at the top of the island's food chain. While there's plenty to eat on land, if you can catch it, the most reliable source of food for the men and the women wasn't on the island at all.
All of the seas around here are literally teeming with life. There's something like 500 different edible species of fish, and it's why when it comes to desert island survival, I always say to people, fish first.
Once you figure out how to catch them, you've got a well-stocked larder right on your doorstep.
Oh, look. Rays, fuck, they're shallow, aren't they?
Come on, boys, let's get one of these.
But it's easier said than done when you don't have the right tools for the job.
Stingray's one, survivor's nil.
Yeah! No, she just lost it!
Get behind it! Oh! Cut him off!
Have you ever seen anyone fish like that before in your life?
I don't think any fish are gonna go near her.
That's rubbish. I loved the fishing. I loved doing the fishing, but I was rubbish at it.
Bastard him. That spear's not worth donkey poo. Fucking rubbish. Then the reality kicks in that you have no idea what you're doing, and hopefully that you're going to be able to clutch at things to make them work. That's why it's called fishing and not catching. It was a big learning curve. It really was a big learning curve. You fucking beauty! Look at the size of that bitch!
As part of their basic survival kit, I provided both islands with a handful of fishing hooks.
Oh, Barney, you're an inch or two longer.
It's directly proportional to the size of my penis.
Which meant they could experiment with improvised rods.
That idea is so romantic, isn't it? To be able to carve your own fishing rod, sit there with your stick like a gnome and soak up the sun.
Oh, I got a big one!
Woo! Fuck! But it was far from romantic, really. It was a really hard graph.
Oh my God, I can't believe it! She's got a fish!
Daddy brought home the bacon! Yeah! Oh, I saved everybody. I was almost like Jesus. I fed the thousands with nothing more than a homemade fishing rod.
In a survival situation, the sea can be a lifesaver. But if you don't treat it with respect, it can just as easily take you out.
There he's gone!
Fuck! Oh, shit!
I've seen it happen. A misjudged tide or freak wave, and it's game over. Rock fishing can prove deadly.
Best fishing was always in the most dangerous spot. And bad shit happens really quickly. It takes 12 months for Christmas to come. Bad stuff happens that quick.
And that's why rock fishing is considered one of the most dangerous sports in the world.
Oh, my
shit! Literally, within half a second, he was gone, like that. And it was genuinely terrifying, and I just remember screaming at the top of my voice, Ross!
To many more days like this.
There's nothing like a successful hunt to lift the spirits.
Is this the first time we've actually had breakfast?
Yeah, I think it is.
Amazing.
But as I know from experience, the island diet can have a few unwelcome repercussions.
Oh, pardon me. Sorry.
God, that was horrible. I'm going to have to go.
Oh no, you're not going to be sick, are you?
I don't know. I don't feel very well. Sorry.
Pardon me, even the food. Why does that always happen when I'm talking about food? That's not what's supposed to happen.
Basically, I've been having explosive diarrhea.
Oh. I would get completely naked, do a poo, and just run straight into the sea and have a shower and bath in the sea.
With no modern conveniences on the island, The call of nature presented something of a dilemma for the women.
You're doing a poo in the ocean?
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Why are you shitting in the ocean?
Because it's clean.
Going for a poo. A lot of people went into the jungle and dug holes. I have to confess, I was really worried about something biting my bum. So I used to go just on the water's edge, which I know upset a lot of people.
The men weren't so fussy about where they did their business.
Here comes my esteemed colleague. I think he might have some good news for the camera.
I've officially dropped anchor in Pooh Bay 3 times. Oh, it's such a relief. I feel like a new man.
Going in the sea for me was absolutely perfect. So I've started shitting in the bath.
6 weeks after abandoning the men and women on 2 remote tropical islands, I went back to see for myself how they managed to stay alive.
Shite! It's good to get it off your chest now and again, Barney.
Sometimes the hardest thing about surviving on an island is living with your fellow castaways.
It's fucking immaturity. It's sulking and it's attention-seeking.
They don't know this is not an enjoyable experience for me. I fucking hate it.
You pointing the finger at me and saying, well, you've had sleep, fine. That's your problem.
Kyle! We're all sweating our bollocks off up there, fella, and it looks like...
Yeah, fair enough.
Looks like you're doing fuck all when it comes to wood.
Before I went into the island, I was worried. It could go one of 2 ways. When women are great, we're fantastic communicators, good at multitasking.
I know we're not finished. I was actually just having a little bit of a rest. So give me a break, please.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you haven't finished, that's all.
Right.
When a group of women are bad, it's bitchy and backstabbing and really nasty.
So you're not here for the team anymore, you're here for yourself.
Are you trying to start an argument?
I'm asking that's what you're saying.
You are trying to start an argument.
That's what you're saying. I think I've done quite well to hold my tongue, because I could have called her a fucking stupid cunt, like I wanted to.
Constantly moaning and grumbling and complaining, and I think, oh God, if you're doing my head in. If anything's going to make me leave this island, it's the people. It's the lack of teamwork.
I think my major achievement was actually not hitting anybody.
I think one of my concerns for you guys right at the beginning is that, you know, you're such diverse people. When the gloves are off because you're tired, you're hungry, from my experience, that can be quite explosive, and that is hard.
I don't know, you liked an argument, didn't you, Vic?
Did I? I don't remember any of that.
I was taking the bones out so we can use them for the next meal.
All that was left to do with that soup was stir it. How difficult can stirring soup be?
Because you are in such a extreme environment, tiny, tiny little things are going to get you agitated.
To some would look like you didn't want to go do a harder job.
I would say fuck you to that person, that's what I'd say.
And I was just like, guys, you're arguing about fucking soup, you know what I mean?
Just let's fucking calm down, eh? There's no need to be like this.
I really do think that this experience is the ultimate pressure cooker environment. Living in close quarters like this, it's inevitable. You're gonna get conflict.
When there's a little bit too much pressure, you need to let it off. You need to have a good swear or a shout or a fall out with somebody. Whether you're right or wrong, it's better. It's better.
But listen, Victor, I'm sure it won't be our last little lock in the horns, but no hard feelings, mate.
None whatsoever, fella. None whatsoever.
If left unchecked, tensions among the men could have torn the group apart. But they came up with their own novel way of dealing with conflict.
We've had our morning meetings.
Yeah.
And in that, we've had a beef section. If anyone has a problem, it's aired to the group, in front of the group, and talked about like adults. As a result, I think we can all say there's been the odd tiff here and there, but nothing more than a lover's quarrel.
Anyone got any beef?
What's important is that grievances don't fester. If you can shine the light on what you're finding difficult, it tends to go away. Good way to start the day.
Do you think we're getting everything off our chest and everything like that? Do you think it's working? Don't want any beef stewing.
Is that why you wanted to MC, just for that duel? That was it?
I've been thinking about this all night.
I thought so.
The women devised an altogether different approach to healing rifts in the group. Island therapy.
I'll start. B, I feel like your positivity is something that I've never come across before.
I am so fond of you, Jules, and I think you're hilarious.
Cringe.
One of the most important qualities is actually kindness, you know, and it's not something you necessarily immediately think is critical to a survivor, but you live with someone for 6 weeks in those sort of conditions, boy, are you grateful for the person who's kind.
Becky, I think you are absolutely wonderful.
Maybe we didn't always perfectly get along. There were times where I'd quite like to have gouged their eyes out or stabbed them in the face, but I will always have experienced that with them, so forever we'll have this amazing bond.
Harvey, all that time we spent in the jungle together, I couldn't have got through it without you. You were so positive.
I'm so sorry. I'm not used to it.
Arriving on the island with little more than the clothes they stood up in. The island's beaches were a rich source of materials for the castaways to put to good use.
Oh, what's this? Yes! Look at that. Not the cleanest teacup in the world. I'm sure we can give it a wash for them.
That is amazing.
A metal can that we can boil stuff in.
Look what I found. Unopened can of ginger ale, and it's in date as well.
Oh my God.
One thing that always staggers me with these desert islands, however remote they are, is just the amount of trash you often see washed up on the beaches.
Discarded rubbish offered an opportunity to make life on the islands a little more comfortable.
Hey lads, look. Found it, pink pear. Look at these bad boys.
This is the male version.
What's this? Oh, yes.
Lovely toothbrush.
That is minging.
That is pretty rank. I've got a pink kind of 14-year-old girl's toothbrush.
Where else would you do that? You take a little bit of burnt wood and stick it in your mouth, and then a washed-up toothbrush you found. But it was effective, actually. It was very effective.
Oh my goodness. I found me a hair clip. I now have a collection of hair clips from the island. Another comb! White tooth!
Very important.
The women used scavenged items to turn their camp into a home away from home, and even created an island hair salon.
There, don't look too scared.
This is where I'm quite out of my comfort zone.
There, when you threw me into that sea, I was out of my comfort zone. If it wasn't for all the treasures that the sea brought us, I'm not sure we would have been able to do as much as we did. Jungle headband.
That's good, that's a bit more Rambo.
It's quite
You survived my territory, and I've now survived yours.
In this hostile environment, the castaways were putting their lives in danger on a daily basis. There's no doubt with this experiment, this island was not benign.
Ah, God! What was that? Something just fucked me.
It's a scorpion, guys.
Everything on the island was dangerous. There was nothing safe.
They faced starvation, dehydration, and exhaustion. And it was inevitable over 6 weeks that there would be injuries.
Go right into the sea because it's cold. She opened the lid and it just exploded in our face.
Especially in the blistered area. The first thing that went through my head when the water can exploded was, gosh, that is hot. And then the second thing was, oh my God, I don't want to leave the island. I'm still standing. Yeah.
So if you can see there.
You okay? Yeah, I feel a little bit faint.
You look ever so slightly peaky.
Okay, so don't look back. Just don't you dare look.
In case of a serious medical emergency, I had a rapid response team on a 24-hour standby. But the islanders still felt vulnerable.
She's boiling. I need to get some air to her. Oh my God.
I definitely worried for my life on the island, like, genuinely after the collapse. Then I realised, yes, we have the support team, but it does take them a while to get to us, so, yeah, we need to be careful. I just got up and everything went black.
What happens when you extend the amount of time that they're trying to survive for? You up the risk ratio exponentially, you know, because now you're making decisions when you're tired, you're dehydrated, you're starving, and so much can happen in those last few weeks.
Be careful!
Any incident is a serious incident when you're playing around with Mother Nature. And the power of the water...
You okay? You okay?
Oh, shit.
It was a hell of a fall. See that?
Yeah.
That is almost...
Oh, that's tendon.
It was so close to the end to making it, but it wasn't to be, you know.
Once evacuated from the island, cameraman Will was flown to the nearest hospital.
The plastic surgeon has done an awesome job. I had cut through a muscle that controlled the wrist, so I'm going to have a good scar. Yeah, everything's fine.
Whoa, look at that! Carbs and veg! The smell, honestly, it's like nothing else. It's absolutely heartbreaking to have not made it to the end. This kind of makes up for it a little bit.
After 6 weeks on the island, 10 men and 10 women made it through to the end. And now, having survived...
Looks like a tornado. That is terrifying.
They were about to return to civilization.
OK, come on then, give us your highs and lows.
Literally, just to get to the end and finally be watching the sunrise on what will be my last day on the island, that was just overwhelming.
We got past strangers, we got past friends, and we became family.
You really do feel like you can conquer anything when you're all together.
When we're going back home, what is there to stop us? Nothing else can really stand in our way.
You know, you've got light in your eyes and it's in all of you. And you only get that glint when you go through the mill, come out the other side of it. Guys, I think you're amazing. It's time to get you off this island.
Let's go, boys.
Yeah! Yeah!
So Bear dropped us off on this island, and it's just a random island. Bear then come back, and he was picking me up off our island. And it was such a strange sensation. And I think quite a lot of the other lads felt like that as well, like that. And that was our ground now.
Woo, boys!
Returning to civilization was weird. You spent a lot of the time wishing for that day to come and dreaming about it and being like, when that boat turns up, it's going to be amazing.
We did it, guys!
But then the reality was, I wasn't ready. I wanted to stay. I wanted to stay in this, with these amazing women and living in this amazing experience.
Well done, boys! Let's grab his tackle and get out of here, yeah? Knowing that the time was up and that this great adventure I were on was coming to an end, that was really sad, that, yeah.
I'm so heartened to arrive here and actually see real, genuine love, care and community. And they don't look emaciated and broken. They look actually healthy and smiling and proud. And pride is something that is hard won, and they've done it the hard way.
Oh, the relief. Absolute relief. Just to know that we were finally going to get back to reality where we can fill our bellies. It was just, yeah, amazing.
OK, ladies, welcome back to civilization. You've done it, you've done it.
Oh, it's like so happy.
For the men's arrival, a special welcoming party awaited.
In they come.
In the form of injured cameraman Will.
There's William!
I could see all their faces on the side of the boat, and I kind of give a little wave, and they all kind of like cheered and jumped out, came running over. It's giving me goosebumps now to think of it.
Wow, you all stink!
It was, you know, it was really good to kind of get the team back together.
After spending 6 weeks cut off from the world,
God, it's so weird to touch.
Reacclimatising was going to take time.
It feels... I'm going to need to train myself. I can't remember how to work it. I knew this was going to happen. I've forgotten how to work. It feels so weird. Fucking hell, it looks weird.
Oh, that first phone call. I was really looking forward to it, but not the emotional roller coaster that I knew were going to come. I mean, purely speaking to my missus just pushed me over the edge. Never been like that in my life that I can remember other than being a kid, sobbing over bugger all. Oh, God, your voice is beautiful. My bit of squeeze on the phone, it was lovely. It was really nice.
Hello, baby.
I'm so happy to talk to you. I cannot tell you.
Oh, it's so good to hear your voice. It was so strange and weird and intense, and I really loved it. I really loved it.
I didn't realise that when I spoke to my mum and heard her voice, just how powerful that was.
Yeah.
I wasn't upset, I was just so happy. I've never been so happy. My mum's pissed me off since being back. She's annoying, but, you know, I'm not going to try and forget that moment with the phone call, because actually you realise that she's not annoying. She's the best.
Hello.
Hearing my daughter's voice after 6 weeks was just beautiful.
Oh, baby, I missed you so much.
And kind of made me realise what I have, how rich my kind of life at home is.
Truth is, you cannot go on this island, endure, and leave the island the same person. It is a life-transforming experience.
Oh, my God.
After being stripped of all modern comforts, the men and the women had an appreciation for the simplest things.
Returning to civilization was really weird. Woo! I got sort of visual indigestion.
Oh my God.
What is it? Not the shower and everything, and the toilet. Oh, isn't it beautiful? I can't get over how beautiful it is.
Oh. Fucking hell.
No way.
Everything that you totally took for granted is suddenly the most amazing thing.
Oh, my God.
You know, we're a few months on now, and I'm still just so grateful of everything. It's silly things, sitting on a chair, you know. Where does that chair come from? It's amazing. Can't believe I'm talking about a chair.
Wow. That looks great.
After weeks of surviving on very little food, the men and the women were given a strict diet to follow to allow their bodies time to recover.
You are.
The starter,
That better be the starter.
Yeah.
We were instructed that we would be given a meal plan, and I thought the meal plan would have been a lot bigger.
So good. It's so good. I just wish it was 4 times as big. Just can't get it in quick enough.
I can't. Want more food. I have secret videos of me and Belinda when we got off the island, scoffing Mars bars and drinking beer.
Have a crisp. How are they?
That night when I come off the island, I went against the rules and I ate, I think, 2 or 3 steaks, pina coladas, beers. I went to town. That night, I went to bed, 3 o'clock in the morning. It was like someone had opened up a tap in my arse. And I never got off the toilet until about 10 o'clock the next day. I think I lost about 6 stone in one sitting.
I think what I gained from the island was a sense that the human spirit is unbreakable.
Made me feel fantastic. I was 25 again for 6 weeks. It was great. Fantastic. Thank you.
I am not the same person who went to the island. I was really shy. I was just scared of what people would make of me. But the island, it helped me find friends, like lifelong friends.
I think we had an amazing bond. We've shared experience of that, which we'll keep for the rest of our lives.
She floats! What? They've made a raft.
It's that feeling of living on the edge and living in the extremes, but still being really happy. That's what amazed me the most. 100% I would do it again. I loved it.
I think probably the experience of the island, for me, was life-changing and incredibly humbling. I just think it's the best thing I've ever done. Full stop.
Seeing them at the end, proud of what they've done, tight as a group, actually is inspiring. And ultimately, they learned never give up. Every single one of them said that. Said this is about just being bloody-minded and not giving up and sticking with it. And really, that's the heart of a great survivor.